Guys, today we are going to be reading the first sentences of all the books on my March TBR that I have not started yet. So this includes Bronte Long, 12 in 2022, 40 Days for Life book, Magical Readathon Aurelium Gear Up pick, and the rollovers that are in jeopardy. Not all of them, just the ones that I have to read by April 1st. I have a list here, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. For my 12 in 2022 reading challenge, I do not have Where the Forest Meets the Stars, or I would read that first sentence. I need to replace my hold and get that in. But the other 12 in 2022 is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, so I will read the first sentence in this. Just to be clear, I'm reading the first sentence of the first chapter in each of these books and kind of skipping the introduction for the purposes of this video. Serene was a word you could put to Brooklyn, New York. I love it already. I love New York City, so I'm excited to read this already. Although I'm nervous because a lot of times when I like the first sentence, I don't like the book, and when I don't like the first sentence, I love the book, so we'll see how this goes. My Patreon focus, I've already started No God But One, so we're going to skip over that one. For Bronte Long, however you say it, I'm in the middle of Jane Eyre, so I'm not going to read the first sentence for that because I'm carrying it over into March. But the actual March pick is Agnes Grey, which I have here on my iPad, and it's doing all kinds of weird stuff. But the first sentence is, all true histories contain instruction, though in some the treasure may be hard to find, and when found, so trivial in quantity that the dry, shriveled kernel scarcely compensates for the trouble of cracking the nut. Definite intrigue, a little bit hard to read out loud there, but I've never read Anne Bronte, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this entails. For 40 Days for Life, I have my pro-life. Years ago, a representative of what was then called the National Abortion Rights Action League spoke in a nearby public high school class on the merits of abortion. Okay, and for Unplanned, Cheryl poked her head into my office. I have watched Unplanned, so I have a feeling this is going to kind of follow the same storyline, but yeah. Excited to actually read it. Alright, so then moving on to Magical Readathon Aurelium Gear Up, I am focusing on my 2 character prompts that I still need to read before the actual readathon, and of course my weapon book. So the first elemental word for my character, who is an earthling, and I am reading Play with Fire for that because fire is one of the elements. So let's see what this first sentence is. This was my quarter life crisis. Well, I can already relate, so hopefully I like that. For my province pick, I am going to read, hopefully, if I can get my hands on it. I need to read a book from an ongoing series, so I'm going to hopefully read the second book in Pages & Co., but I don't have it yet, so I can't read the first sentence. So once I get my hands on that, I'll start that. But for my weapon, it's going to be a pole arm because I'm an archivist, and I am reading a book that is over 400 pages long. I talked about this in my TBR. This is the only book that is Russia related that I'm keeping on my TBR for right now. The first sentence is, at 6:30 on the 21st of June, 1922, when Count Alexander Ilyich Rostov was escorted through the gates of the Kremlin onto Red Square, it was glorious and cool. Okay, let's get into the books that are in jeopardy that I have to read by April 1st, that are my rollovers. We will start with Do You Think I'm Beautiful? I do think I've started this before, but I don't remember, so let's see. There is a quote that says, if there's a question attached to the soul of a woman, maybe it's, do you think I'm beautiful? I don't really relate to that, but the first sentence is, I've worn glasses since I was 18 months old. Okay. I hope I'm gonna like this. The next one is Feisty and Feminine. I had forgotten what it feels like. That tells me nothing. Okay. Mystery of the Shemitah. I think I have started this. What? If I can't remember, I'm just going to read the first sentence again. Is it possible that there exists a 3,000-year-old mystery that lies behind everything from the implosion of the New York Stock Exchange, the collapse of the American and world economy, the attack of 9/11, the rise of nations, the fall of nations, and events that have not happened yet but are yet to take place? I've definitely read that sentence before, but I may not have actually started reading this. Also, it got crunched, and I'm really sad about that. The corner's all bent up. Anyway, for Opportunity Knocks, on a muggy, overcast September day in 2017, I stood in the cool, quiet bustle of the White House, just outside the Oval Office, waiting to see the President of the United States. Intrigue! Some fun. I get to open this up, finally, after like a billion years of owning it. I may need scissors. Okay, I think I got it. Revolution in World Missions. Very tactile feeling. It's tiny. You know how like books have all the advertisements and stuff in the back? This one has it in the front. The silence of the Great Hall in Kochi was broken only by soft choking sobs. Sad. I'm already intrigued in this one. Let me go ahead and rate the first sentences and see what I'm most interested in reading, and then I'll get back to you. And these ratings have to be based off of the first sentence alone, not off my other knowledge of the book. Okay, so actually I feel kind of bad because a lot of these were gifted to me, so I feel really bad like rating them based off just the first sentence. But based off of my intrigue from the first sentence, the one I'm least excited for would be Do You Think I'm Beautiful? Because I already don't relate to this. Like, even though I wore glasses when I was younger, I don't feel like the only thing that women care about is being beautiful. And so I hope I like this. Based off of the first sentence alone, the next one would be Unplanned, even though from my own prior knowledge, I know I'm super excited to read this. Also, maybe that's just because I know what happens. Anyway. Next would be my iPad. No, Agnes Grey. Those were a lot of words, and I'm kind of nervous. Like, the intrigue is there, but I'm nervous for this writing style. Next would be Feisty and Feminine because it didn't tell me anything. Next would be Why Pro-Life, but I am excited to read this. Would be A Gentleman in Moscow. I feel like it was just very straightforward and factual, although in general, I'm looking forward to reading this because I feel like this is an appropriate time to read this book. Next would be Mystery of the Shemitah, and I'm just intrigued in general about reading this book. Then Opportunity Knocks. Engaging enough that I'm looking forward to it. My heart with this one. This is the one that I am third most excited to pick up, and I was kind of thinking this was going to be an unhaul, but I don't know, I definitely found it. Oh, there are pictures. We know that I love a book with pictures in it. Pictures! Okay, I think I'm gonna like this one. Second most excited to read is Play with Fire because I feel like I'm gonna relate to this already. And then the one that I'm most excited to read based off the first sentence is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn because we love New York City and I cannot wait to read this. I don't even really know what it's about. I just know it's like one of those books that everyone's read and I haven't. The American classic about a young girl's coming of age at the turn of the century. Yep, I'm ready for this. At least that's the plan. I'm focusing on a different category of books every week this month. So this week I'm focusing on my Bronte books, and then next week I think I'm focusing on 40 Days for Life, but I'm not sure. I'd have to check my calendar because I already planned it all out. But anyway, I'm super excited, especially for these books and these books and let's face it, all of them. I'm looking forward to all of them, although I'm kind of nervous that some of the ones that I'm most excited to read didn't have the greatest first sentences, although like I said at the beginning, sometimes the ones with boring first sentences are my favorites, and vice versa. So we'll see how this month goes. What are you guys reading this month? Go ahead, comment, and let me know. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!